There you are. I've been doing some investigating of my own since we last parted. I believe I found our Lapis Maiden. The girl's name is Arabella, daughter of one Master Gugurumu, a prominent member of the East Aldenard Trading Company. Her eyes and hair a most exceptional shade of blue. Her beauty is the talk of the Sultanate. Her purported beauty, I should say. You see, none have actually seen the girl in the flesh. Apparently, her father is the overprotective sort. Some say that the maiden has never set foot outside the family's well-guarded estate. But all this is about to change. Rumor has it that the girl is to be wed. And not just to anyone, mind you, but to the heir of the Bruguer Consortium. The formal announcement is set to be made at a commemorative feast, so to be jointly hosted by the two family businesses. The venue is Costa del Sol, where preparations are going as we speak. Word on the street is that the bride-to-be will be making a rare public appearance. It is here that the thief intends to strike. I couldn't be more certain of it. Piqued your interest, have I? My sources tell me that the bride's father is already in Costa del Sol overseeing the preparations. This is one scoop I'm not going to miss, and you're welcome to come along. Inspector's log. I have arrived in Costa del Sol, somewhere in the realm. The masked fiend I pursue sets a leering eye on a poor defenseless young maiden. A case that cries out for a gentleman inspector, if ever there were one. Employing my own stupendous powers of disguise, I have concealed myself among a group of brass blades, hoping to ascertain the identity of the Lapis Maiden, mentioned by the thief. Thus far, I have gleaned little save for war stories and tales of drinking prowess, but I am certain it is only a matter of time before the answer is within my grasp. And I think the second section is always just a summary of what we just got. This is Master Gugurubu of the East Aldenard Trading Company, and father of the bride. Let's see what he can actually tell us.
You're not one of my business associates. This banquet is for invited guests only. If you have no business here, be on your way at once.
Beg your pardon, good sir. My name is Ellie, reporter for the Mithril Eye. If I might just have a moment of your...
Ah, yes, that two-gill sensationalist rag. I read your tiresome screed about the self-styled Phantom Thief and his letter of challenge. If you have come to tell me my daughter is in danger, I can assure you that your concern is entirely unwarranted. I have not kept my Arabella safe to this day to see her whisked away by some fly-by-night rogue. I have spared no expense in securing the best protection that money can buy. Yes, the Brass Blades of Gerbera, an elite unit of the most lethal swordsmen in the Sultanate. They say one of them once caused a man's heart to burst just by looking at him askance. The moment they set eyes on the would-be thief will be his last. If the thief is
If the thief is obliging enough to allow himself to be seen, or do those goggles serve some purpose other than making the wearer look utterly ridiculous?
Huh?
Yes.
Consulting Inspector Mryadine, your reputation precedes you. And what, pray tell, would you propose? I have promised some of the wealthiest men in the realm that my daughter will be attending the festivities. To renege on my word would have dire implications for the family trade.
My proposal is a simple one. Entrust the investigation to me. The thief will be in shackles before the banquet commences, and it will cost you not a whit of your precious gil.
Very well. Let us see if your reputation is deserved. But consider yourself warned. Greater fortunes than you will ever know hinge upon this banquet. I will not tolerate any disturbances.
Such a touching concern for his coin purse. If only he could muster the same for his daughter. But do tell, Inspector, after he slipped under our noses the last time, what makes you so confident that you can catch our thief this time around?
A man may boast 1,000 faces, but he has but a single modus operandi, and it's painfully obvious. A letter of challenge, a precious treasure whisked away from its rightful owner in broad light of day. This tells me that our thief is an attention seeker with supreme confidence in his abilities. Doubtless he means to target the maiden using the same methods he used to abscond with the treaty blade. Yes. Even now, the fiend is in our midst, having assumed the identity of someone who will be in close proximity to Miss Arabella at the feast. I have already narrowed the field. Arabella's betrothed, Vanus, would be an obvious target for our thief. So too would his father, Morgantz. Ialto Nolto and his wife, Cianana, the guests of honor, will be a toast to the couple's happiness. Both will be standing close to the stage where the bride-to-be is set to appear. Needless to say, we cannot rule out Gogorimu himself. Finally, we have Lewenhart, a steward of Gogorimu's estate, and Miss Arabella's personal attendant. Yes, all the key players, save for the Lapis Maiden herself, have assembled in Costa del Sol. Doubtless the Phantom Leaf lurks among them, his face concealed, gathering information and planning his course of attack. We will begin our questioning of the suspects immediately. Should you encounter any suspicious individuals, you are to report back to me at once. Hildibrand Mandeville, I could smell the stench of your idiocy and incompetence from a mom away.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine, contriving Inspector Brahadin. Forgive me not for revealing myself sooner. I was simply conducting a bit of preliminary undercover investigative work. Yet to see through my ingenious disguise with such ease, yes. I dare say your powers of observation rival even my own. Fear not, friends. I, Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, have arrived to defend the maiden's honor as only a Mandeville man can.
He does realize there's still a fish on his head, doesn't he?
Good, Inspector. I realize we have not seen eye to monocle in the past, but a fair maiden's virtue, mayhap her very life, is at stake. From one gentleman to another, let us put aside our differences. Yes, I would welcome your assistance in this case.
Me assist you. Aren't you a funny man? Oh, it makes no matter. My plan is so flawless that not even your bungling can interfere this time. If you wish to assist me, you may do so by keeping watch over the suspects. In the meantime, I have a promising lead to investigate. I shall return before the banquet begins. While I know this may be asking much, do try not to do anything too stupid in my absence, will you? I would speak with you, but not here. I will be waiting for you outside Costa del Sol. Come quickly, for we do not have the luxury of time.
It is not by fate's whimsy that we have been reunited here today, friend. You were destined to be by my side as I apprehend the fiend and defend the fair maiden's virtue.
Inspector Briardine seems to have taken a liking to you. You should be proud. As you can see by his treatment of someone we know, the man doesn't suffer fools lightly. Alright. You've come. Excellent. With that buffoon suitably distracted, we can get you to more important matters. But before we proceed, what might I call you? Jane Doe? An unremarkable name, but it will suffice. Now, answer me this, Jane. You were there when the Phantom Thief, in the guise of Lady Dorilda, stole off with the treaty blade. Was there anything about our foe's disguise that struck you as particularly noteworthy? I mean, it was perfect. She even had the same voice. Intriguing. Where most would point out the sheer physical perfection of the disguise, you turn an eye within. A thorough inspection of the mask I left behind at the scene revealed a tiny prism sewn into the fabric. It is this stone that allows him to change appearances at will, and yet, like you, this was of secondary concern to me. From movements to mannerisms to that utterly obnoxious personality, the thief did not merely look like Lady Dorilda. He was her. Such a feat could not be accomplished by magical trickery alone. We are dealing with a clever and thorough criminal. Not content to rely on his ample powers of disguise, he studies his targets closely before assuming their identities. He emulates them utterly and completely, that not even their closest friends or family could detect that aught is amiss. All the key players arrived at Costa del Sol 3 days ago, when preparation for the banquet began. This would afford our thief more than enough time to study his would-be target, and yet some disguises are more challenging than others. Put yourself in the mind of our Phantom, Jane. If you were the thief, whose identity would you first assume? One of the guests. Obviously. Would he? The guests are well acquainted with each other. One misstep and the thief's cover would be blown. No, there is a more logical first target. One that would afford him the opportunity to gather the knowledge he needs and at less risk. Yes, one of the brass blades of Gerbera. Strong in number, few of words, able to come and go as they please, a fearsome reputation to scare away any man who would draw near enough to realize something was amiss. An ideal entry into Costa del Sol for our man. Deducing as much, I made a point to question the brass blades in this area. Little to my surprise, I learned there was only one man who had not been seen at his favorite alehouse for the past 3 days. Our thief has not made it a habit of wanton murder. Doubtless the poor man is lying naked in a ditch not far from here. In addition to general security duties, each of the blades has been assigned to serve as bodyguard for one or more of the guests. If the man can tell us of his assigned charge, like as not, his answer will reveal the current identity of our thief. Our thief would not have had time to carry the unconscious man far. I will canvass the immediate area. You begin your search on the outskirts of Costa del Sol.
Oh, I was about to lose it. I talked for a long time.
Like as not, the missing brass blade is lying naked in a ditch somewhere, as I said earlier. Begin your search within the vicinity of Costa del Sol. With our thief pressed for time, it is not likely that he would have carried the poor man far.
Alright. Looking for a naked man.
I volunteered to guard the beach, and which beach do they send me to? Not the one with frolicking danceuses. Oh no! Instead, I get to watch crabs scuttle.
Alright. And... hey, buddy.
Excellent. You are one of the less incompetent assistants I have worked with.
Thank the gods! Please, free me from these chains before the snippers eat me alive!
Yes. But first, we must have a chat. There. Now, tell me all that you can remember about what happened to you, and try to be brief.
We just arrived in Costa del Sol, at a briefing of sorts. Master Gugurimu gave each of us our orders, who we'd be looking after and the like. Out of mind, toured the area, get my bearings. Next thing you knew, I felt a thwack on the back of my head. When I came to, here I was, stripped to my skivvies.
Much to the chagrin of those of us who would have to look at you. You say you received the orders from Master Gugurimu. Who was to be your charge?
My memory is a little hazy, but one was Morgant, father of the groom, the other was Lalafell gent from Limsa.
Yonto Noto. Try your best to remember. Were there any other guests with whom you were ordered to interact?
Come to think of it, yes. There was also the steward, Luinart. I was to review the schedule of events, discuss the protection, key supplies, that sort of thing.
Morgant, Yalto Noto, and Luinart, thank you for such an incompetent fool. Your testimony has proved astonishingly enlightening. I shall see this man back to the city and into the possession of some new clothes. After which, I shall return to Costa del Sol to continue the investigation. Go on ahead of me, and for the love of gods, just make sure that imbecile doesn't cause too much trouble in my absence.